Hey everybody, so today I just wanted to share a tool with everyone. This is just something I made, and essentially this is just a simple way to create or to actually build your build specs in your LabVIEW project. So obviously you can do this from your LabVIEW project, but this also offers some different capabilities as well, to kind of augment that and offer some different capabilities, especially in applications where you might have lots of build specs in a single project. Being able to just say, hey, build all of these and whatnot. And this does have a command line interface as well. It's not fully command line based yet, but I'm working on just making it so you can just pass in some arguments and it will, do what you want it to do. But yeah, basically you can go here. You can select a LabVIEW project. So I can go navigate to my project. It's gonna load the build specs for that project. So I have my EXEs, I have my installers, and it's gonna also populate the latest version of each installer. So I can see all of what's there. If I want to, I can just click build all, and it's going to basically build every build spec in the project for me. I can also click build spec, and it will basically prompt me for which of these build specs that are available that I want to build. And I can build just that one specifically. And in each case as well, forgot to mention, it will, when it's done, populate a list. It'll pop up a little dialog, and I'll show you what this looks like. That shows all of the files that were generated through this build. And then I also have this RT deployment as well. So if you have like an RT exe in your build specs, not only can you build it from here, but you can also deploy it from here. So yeah, let's take a little look at the code and see what this can do. So this is essentially just a queued message handler. So let's go look first at some of this startup code. So this is actually where we're reading command line arguments. So this can be called from the command line, and it's just parsing those arguments, breaking them apart. And right now it's just specifically looking for an argument called project, and the value for that project is going to be the actual path to the project, and it's just going to populate the project and load the build specs automatically. I'm working on setting that up so you'll also have some other arguments where you can say, build all or build a specific one, and also pass in version arguments, and it will automatically update versions for you. But for right now, the only argument it supports is being able to just load a project automatically. So yeah, let's look at some of this stuff. So there is this message user case, which is right here, which all it's doing is updating a string here. So that way in different states, it's just updating this to display different instructions to the user. So yeah, that's what you'll see in a lot of these cases. So like, for example, when you select a new project, it'll update that string to say, hey, there's a new project loading. And this is going to send the project case down here to our message handler. So for our project, we're going to first do this find build specs, which I can show you what that looks like, where we are, opening up the project and then basically getting our EXEs and installers, and then from there extracting the names of those. So not super complicated. And then we're also going to go get versions of each thing. So I can take in my project and I can pass in the list of build specs, and then I'm just using this get build specification version from the NI app builder API to basically get the major, minor, fix, and build, and then populating an array to display on the UI. The same thing goes for the installers. So, and then once done, we'll just say, hey, this project's been loaded, and we're off to the races. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. So for RT, I can show you what's going on here. So this sends just this RT command down here. And we're gonna basically connect to the project. we're going to list out our targets in that project and get them by name. And then here we're just going to pop up a little quick drop looking GUI that will populate all of the targets in that project, and you can select the target that you want to deploy to. So you can, if you've got multiple compact RIOs or my RIOs or whatever in there, you can select the one you specifically want to deploy to. And then it will use just this deploy function from the NI App Builder API. So that way you can easily deploy your RT-EXE after it's been built to your target. Let's head back up. So panel closed, not that exciting. We're just kind of killing everything. So build all. So we're sending a message that says, hey, we're building all the build specs, and do note this can take several minutes. So depending on what you're building, how complex it is, and how many build specs you have, this can vary quite a bit, especially if you're building installers that have lots and lots of dependencies. It can take a very long time to build. So let's go to the build all case. Basically, we're just using this NI App Builder build function. And when it's done, it's outputting a list of files. And we're displaying those here with this generation result. So you basically have this array. You can scroll up and down, and it'll show you all of the files that were generated through that build process. And other thing to show, when we select build one, we're going to go to this build state down here. And we're going to go to this select spec GUI. So basically, we're just going to populate the options, the available build specs, and we can basically select the one we want and click here. And then it will move on. It'll take our selection and pass that down to the application builder. And likewise, we're going to display the results and whatnot. So that's pretty much it. But just a way to build your build specs simply and quickly. And one of the big advantages as well is versioning. So let me open up this guy. So, if we select a build spec, we're gonna populate our list here of all the options, but it's also going to pull the version of what we've selected, and it's gonna say, hey, currently that build spec is using this version. Do you want to continue with that version or set it to something else? So one of my pain points, at least with the way it works in the LabVIEW project, is you can set an option for auto increment, but like I said, you have a major, minor, fix, and build. So it could be like 1.0, 0.0. Every time you build, it just increments this build number. So for you to actually modify like the major, minor, or fix, you have to open up the project, go to the build specs, open that up, and sometimes those can take a while to populate as well. Go to the versioning section and then manually upgrade it to, let's say we upgraded from 1.0 to 2.0, right? So then I can go update my major. So instead from here, it's going to just say, hey, this is going to be built with this. Do you want to change that? And if you do, you get a little dialog that says, hey, enter the version, and it will set that as the version for your project. So you don't have to go through all the, opening the project and going to the build spec specifically and remembering to update it and all of that. So that way you can kind of handle versioning just a little better. But like I said, I'm working on kind of wrapping some more of this in command line arguments. So you can call it, pass in the project you want, but also specify build specs and specify versions, and even specify like RT deployment as well. So that's in the works. But if you're interested in using this tool for building your projects, the link to this is going to be in the description to the video. You're welcome to download it, use it as you want, modify it, etc. It's all free, open source. But yeah, hopefully that can be helpful for someone. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.